Hello everyone, in this video we will continue our series on AZ500 preparation, and we're going to take a look at how to configure conditional access policies. Now what we have done previously, we have used the MFA to configure MFA setting for a lot of users in our environment that we have registered um, for users. Like here we have enabled that user and that user um, for a multi-factor authentication. Okay, so what if we let's think about it. We want to enable, say, multi-factor authentication for maybe this person. Okay, let's see, if I click on it, this person is not, this is invited persons is not even available in here. So let's just start with this person. AZ104 multi-factor authentication is enabled, so let's just use this person then. So for this person, our multi-factor authentication is disabled. So what we want to do, we want to conditionally ask him for multi-factor authentication for certain apps. Say for when you want to access the Microsoft Azure, we want to enable the MFA for this particular user. So what we'll do, we'll go to the user and we'll see if the multi-factor authentication is enabled first. So for now we know that it's disabled, so we'll go and look at the user experience for that person. So we'll come here, we'll go to the Active Directory. Okay, and I don't remember any of the usernames and passwords, and usually I just reset most of the passwords. So let's go, we were looking at what's the username, add user 2, right? So for this person, to reset password. Okay, and let's get a temporary password, and let's go and open up one private window. Okay, so portal.azure.com, that's the other user, we don't want that user, so sign in as a different user. And this is gonna be user 2. Okay, I don't even have this username. Let's save this temporary password. Let's go back to the user, make sure I have the right username copied, and put it in here. Let's go for it. Now get the temporary password. Right now I need this, and we'll put it in here, and we'll sign in. It's gonna ask me to change the password, which is fine. We'll do Alright, so I have updated the password. Now this one should not ask me for a multi-factor authentication, but it is asking me for, did it ask me for something else? Let's try to log in. Okay, so here I need just an authentication email. So that's not multi-factor authentication, by the way. So what is it? So just do alright, so it just an email where I'm just going to pause and just validate that I have a proper email. That's something that you have to do. Hold on for 1 second. I'm going to pause and do my validation and come back. Well, I'm back. I got that validation code. So this is really not multi-factor authentication. It's just they just want me to have 2 different passwords. I mean, a way to communicate if something happens with the account. So let's prove that I don't have a multi-factor authentication. So let's try to log in with that username. And if you see, it didn't ask me for anything, right? So it went in there. So I'll just say maybe later. And let's go back to our working directory, which is here. No, not here. Which is here. Okay, so what we want to do, we do not want to enable multi-factor authentication for this user everywhere. We just want him to use multi-factor authentication when he's coming to the Azure Active Directory. So to do this kind of conditional access, you can Azure Active Directory, again you need a premium P2 license for that one. You can do AzureAD conditional access. So you can go in there and wow, I already turned it on. Require MFA for Azure portal access. Okay, that policy may not be applicable to everyone. So let's see what we can do. Here, so users is an account. So let's first selected users. And what I want to do, I just want to select that one particular user, and this is that guy, right? Okay, and MFA, and I'm just going to do, since this is one particular user, so I'm just going to mention MFA add user to Azure. Okay, so I got this guy. Now this is where you assign where you want the rule to be applicable. Now cloud apps, so if you click on it, it should give us a whole bunch of cloud apps for you, and here you can select your apps. Now none of the apps are selected. So what we want, Azure Windows VM sign-in, Azure SQL database. Let's see if I have Microsoft Azure, Outlook, Windows Defender. So what it's telling you, you can ask them to have multi-factor authentication when it's trying to log into SQL database, trying to log into SQL Windows, internal Linux, VirtualBox, Microsoft Azure management. Maybe let's do that. Take that one, and let's see if there's anything else that we can bring in. Office 365, we don't need any of that. I think that should do it. Microsoft Azure, okay, manage account management. So you select. So that's where when you are trying to log in to this management portal, then it's going to ask you for MFA. And in conditions, you can also allow conditions, sign in risk. So you can also say, do you want to configure the risk? Okay, maybe you can say, yeah, if it's if you see there is no risk for the user to log in, if it's low risk, you don't need the MFA. Okay, but for now I'm not going to configure this. Device platform is something you can also configure if you like. You can say, alright, if you have is coming from a Windows machine, don't worry about it, something like that. But for now I don't even care about this one either. Locations, yeah, I'm not configuring the location either. pretty much client app and device app, these are all in preview, so I'm not going to worry about this one. So no matter what condition it is, I want this user to have MFA enabled for Azure account management. Alright, access, what do you want to do? Okay, so first we have defined the name, assignment, where do you want this rule to be applicable, and now what happens. So once this user tries to log in, should we grant access? And here I can say, yeah, enable the require multi-factor authentication. Now in here you can have multiple things selected if you like, and if you have multiple things selected, you can go over here, require one of these selected controls, or you can say require all of them selected. Okay, so you can say multi-factor authentication plus he must be coming from a device which is hybrid AzureAD joint device. So you can add additional protection if you like. So I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying, okay, grant access but enable multi-factor authentication. Okay, and you see that you have to make sure the policy is enabled by default. The enable policy, it was report only, but now I say the enable the policy is on, and I turn the on button over here. Session control user access based on session control, use conditional access, sign in frequency. This is I'm not going to do anything in here either, and at this time I can create the rule for it. Okay, so once this is done, what I'll do, I'll open up this policy, and in this policy, this policy is on but is not being applied to anything. So what for now I'm going to do, the other policy I'm just going to turn it off. This is like a global policy that you can apply to anyone, so I'm going to turn it off. So the only policy where we are conditionally providing MFA is here. So now let's go back to our incognito window. I think that's over here we are. So let's sign out, and let's try to sign back in, and let's see what happens. Alright, now it's trying to sign back in. I think we okay, so now if I hit next, this is your multi-factor authentication screen. So what happened, you just noticed that this person, since I said that person gotta have the multi-factor authentication enabled, this time when I try to log in after I enable the policy, it is asking for the MFA. So that is the end of this lab. So in this lab we kind of looked at our way how to set up a conditional access policy. And again, this could be an exam question. For the conditional access, you gotta have the Azure Active AD identity protection, and that means you gotta have the Azure AD Premium P2 license. So good luck with the exam. We'll see you in the next video, where we're gonna play some more with the conditional access. Thank you.